We're starting off high.
We can get
I
a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
What's going on?
What up, dude? It's been a minute. We took a couple weeks off. And you're here.
I'm in this bitch.
What the fuck?
Listen.
When was the last time you were in studio?
I don't know.
It's been a couple months. It has to have been at least a couple months.
It means it's a special occasion.
Yeah, I can't remember. We had a guest on.
Was it Sam?
Brandon?
Oh, no. No, Sam we did virtually. Yeah, it was Brandon. I think you're right. Just Brandon. So that was like November.
Yeah, it has to be a separate time than that.
You just deserted me. I got all the fancy shit going in the studio, and you just left me. It's all right. I'm not hurt.
My tank's still on E, baby. I'm here, though.
And we got a special guest in the building.
We got my cousin in this bitch.
Yes, your boy JR.
You know, we just have all the cousins on. It's a good strategy.
You know?
And they all bring very different points of view.
You right.
Our family is very vast.
Absolutely.
Listen, vast is an understatement. What's going on, though?
Not much. Feeling this week from work.
Shit, ain't we all, man?
Oh, I'm not. Still gainfully unemployed.
I don't know if that's
Hey, I
good
like that
thing
word.
or
What did Ashley say? Ashley called it fun employed.
Fun-employed.
I don't think I'm quite to fun employed level, but I'm not at a point where I'm stressing yet. So
That's good.
Riding a little bit. I got another 6 weeks I can ride out, and then I might panic a little bit. But even then, I can find something to at least pay bills.
Right. I have to start that OnlyFans.
Right?
Yeah.
Only fan. I just need one.
One fan.
$1,000 subscription.
That's what I'm about to say. I don't know what that subscription price gonna be like. God damn! If I can, I'm on OnlyFans if it's $1,000 per one subscription. Listen, whatever you want to see.
A nipple you want.
Oh,
Fuck
goodness
that.
gracious. All right, Cliff, we got any inadvertence to get us going?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. I was thinking the other day, and this was a while ago.
That's dangerous.
I actually had, it's very dangerous. I actually had this inadvert when Sam was on, but that's the one where I said,
that's the one where you said you didn't want to talk about it.
Right, I didn't want to take the show down that path.
Okay.
But
we starting anew here, so
yeah,
fuck it,
nah,
let's
and
go.
I don't necessarily think it's gonna be down that path, but I just got to thinking like, why in the Bible? Well, I know none of them really say, but why do they never say Jesus' last name?
I mean, do they say anybody's last name?
No, that's why I said I know they didn't say.
Because it's like at that point in history, it's still son of blah blah blah, who was son of
or
blah blah
Jesus
blah.
of Bethlehem,
Right, or of where you're from, or
Because I was thinking to myself, like, now that we're in the science of the genealogies and you can trace back ancestry, I thought one or two things. If somebody could trace back, I almost thought
they've done plenty of movies where they do that, right? Like
try to find the child of Christ.
Yeah, wasn't that the whole point of like the Da Vinci Code?
I mean,
it was her bloodline. She was
right. They were trying to find Mary because they were saying,
but they were saying Mary Magdalene and Jesus were together.
Right.
I guess Mary Magdalene would be one that had a last name, huh?
Right. Now you kind of taking me somewhere, right? Because then could anyone with the last name Magdalene
be a descendant?
Right, be a descendant of Jesus.
Well, but here's the thing: is Magdalene would have been Mary's last name? Would she have taken Jesus's last name? And also, is Jesus a name or is it just a title?
No, it's
no.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
No, I guess Christ is the title. Well, Jesus Christ.
I think it's a title. I think it's more of a.
I think Christ is the title, if I'm remembering my Roman Catholic history. But
you know how I have a theory on that. Like, you know the game we used to play as kids, where you tell a secret in the ear.
Right, the telephone. Right.
Yep.
By the time we get down to the end,
right,
it's never the same as when it
started.
Right.
Right.
So my theory on that, especially, let me take it even further. How are these different races? How do we all come from two people, Adam and Eve?
Well, there's a lot of theory on that.
I believe that's what they just want to tell you. I believe that there was a Adam andEve,
Elisa, Steven,
a Bill and Phil,
Jack and Jill.
Right, all that. Yeah.
How do you get Chinese people? How do you get all these different variations?
Well, what they say is, of course, we know that the life arrived in Africa, but they say that everyone split, right? And people moved to different sides of the earth. And in some sides, like Europe, there's no point in having melanin. You can't, you need the sun. So you need to be able to absorb it more, whereas us in Africa need to protect ourselves from it.
Well, it's almost the reverse. Like the white skin's meant to reflect it, and the dark skin's meant to absorb it.
Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't think it's
no, you're probably right, because to your
about
point,
what y'all do reflecting it. You hear what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers absorb the shit out of that shit.
But that would mean that we're all family.
Of course.
That
we're all one human race.
Right.
But we're steady dividing each other.
No, right, but I mean that's by design.
Yeah.
It's really a game of the haves and have-nots, and we talk about that a lot. But
and it depends on what you believe. Like, if you believe the creation myth and we all stemmed from two people, that's one thing. If you believe in evolution, that evolution is taking part across an entire species, right? So it's different developments from different. I mean, that's where you start getting into if humans all share the same genome,
right?
Then we do have a point where did we all rise from the same species, or does this start to give credence to the freaking first man theory?
Here's my thing:
was that we are not actually of this planet, and we were put here.
That's interesting too.
I believe that too. They say the meteor hit, dinosaurs was here, meteor hit, here we come.
Right.
Well, listen, that's also because I don't know, right? Because they do say that even the animals, everything about life came from that puddle, that pool of water. So we didn't start out at this. We started out as cells or microbes or something.
Yeah, basically
if that's
evolution
you know what I'm
took
saying?
place over millions of years from single cell organisms to 2-cell to 4-cell.
If that's correct, and I bookmark that, right, because I got something for that down the line, right? But when I was thinking about Jesus' last name, I almost thought to myself, like, could it be like and before I finish my thought, if we all came from Adam and Eve, I feel like there'd be a lot more Down syndrome in the world, right? Because if she came from your rib, bro, that's your family. So if
who
y'all
say we're not retarded?
right, like,
And the retarded people are regular.
right, that could be true as well. That could be true as well. But I don't know. I just feel like there'd be a lot more defects. It looked like the royal family in England.
Have you took a scroll through YouTube or anything or Facebook?
For what?
See all these defected people.
You right. You right.
Not wrong.
You right about that. So maybe we did come from just Adam and Eve. I don't know. But to the Jesus name though, the thing, I feel like it's almost like a witness protection situation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you were a descendant of Jesus and could prove it, you would either go through one of two things: glorification or persecution.
Oh yeah.
Because they're going to start looking at you like, well, why can't you do these miracles? Why aren't you you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
why? And then eventually,
if we're in likeness of,
right?
Why can't we do that too?
I mean,
right.
And especially you being of the bloodline, and it's like, oh, you just got in trouble for getting a DUI or just got out of rehab. Now we going hella hard on you because you're a descendant of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you kind of got to protect that name just because of what you expect to. Look at what they doing to Bronny and Bron James. Like, that's just a basketball player. And they already looking at his son like, you better be
like your daddy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When meanwhile we've never seen a father-son combo other than maybe 2 or 3 in history.
Yeah.
Steph and Seth.
Griffey.
Dale and Seth. I mean,
Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
That wasn't. Yeah.
I mean, but like outside of that, like being in
You're
the
gonna
same
see a lot more
bloodline.
than now.
I will say that you do see bloodlines make it that far, but you don't see anybody excel to that like top of the game generationally.
Dale and Steph Curry is one for sure. We were just talking about it on our show. How many children have lived up to their father's name? It's 99% don't.
Right.
There are that 1% does, but 99% don't. But you are going to see a lot more of that now. And you ask yourself why? It's because
they marry in female athletes.
that could be it too. But I don't.
I tried that. I dated a girl in college who was the hammer record thrower at CMU right before I became second of all time.
Should have knocked her up.
And we would have had some NFL babies. I'm just saying. She was 6'1", and her brothers were all 6'7", 6'8".
I remember her. But yeah, you're gonna see it a lot more lately now because
they're being given the opportunity. I don't even think it's because they're as athletically superior. I think that their parents are buying their way into things.
No, I definitely agree with that too. But see, that's the mean combination, right? Because you're never going to have your child be as hungry as you unless they have a chip placed on their shoulder some way throughout their coming up.
And it also has to be a passion of theirs too.
Right, and that's the thing. See, usually the parent that comes out was coming out for something. I have to get my family out of this bad situation, or you know what I'm saying? When you're a child coming up, we're already out of the bad situation. I don't know what that feels like. So you have to. So here's the thing. What would you be doing if you weren't playing ball?
Right.
You would be looking for clout. You would be posting shit on social media, doing these little TikTok dances, all this little shit to try to get your views and your clout up. But now we're in an era where you can use what you're good at to get clout.
Right.
So you have your Dennis Rodman Jr.'s and your Kenyon Martin Jr.'s and players who were nobodies before, but now their kids are looking like I'm coming to eat because every time I post a video of me dunking on somebody, I get hella clout. And if I wasn't playing basketball, I'd still be looking for clout, just in a different way.
Right, and that's... Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Same thing with God and Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that Jesus was just trying to live up to his father and didn't? And it was, you know what I'm saying, like a, I want to put this. Just like how you saying about LeBron and
I know what you're saying, but the only difference is to me, and I don't know how accurate it is, but
he's not.
I don't know that God ever walked the earth.
I
That
don't
we know
believe
of.
so.
That we know of is what I'll say. But Jesus, on the other hand, was almost like this is him in human form. You know what I mean? So I don't think that you could compare it the same because Jesus can't live up to God on earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if he had, what is the volume?
Yeah, it's cutting in and out a little bit. That's all right. Keep going.
But yeah, it's just I feel like that's a little different, but I understand the analogy and I do like that, because then that brings up the question to me of did Jesus know God before he was sent here? You know what I'm saying? Did you have a knowledge of what was going on up where you were before God sent you down here to do your job?
But if he never walked the earth, well,
I mean, the theory, but if you believe in Christianity, Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, it's all one being.
that's what I believe. I don't believe.
But
now,
even
you wanna ask
Jesus
me,
sinned,
I don't
though,
believe
so
there
it's
is a
like,
Jesus.
does God then
I
sin?
think the God of the Old Testament sinned an awful lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you consider to be sin, but yeah, I understand what you're saying there. I almost feel like Old Testament God, not to like sound
I know where you're
disrespectful,
going. Yeah.
but it's almost more dictatory than leadery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could call it sin, because what they considered to be sin back in the day, it's all still sin. It's not like, anything's changed. But we know sins back then, it's not the same as sins now.
So how do we
murder was common back then.
Right.
If we have a disagreement, it was common for me to try to take you out.
So why are we still living under the same?
I mean, that's kind of the point overall is we are, even in this country that's only 200 years old, why are we still following the same documents that were written 200 years ago?
Because
with a different lifestyle.
It's hard to reinterpret, though, right? It's hard to translate into
But if we're not, but see, and this is one of my biggest things, when I finally get back into the workforce, just because it's the way we've always done it does not mean it's the right way. In fact, that means that you are a dying organization, a dying country, a dying planet. If you are going to continue to do shit the same way and you are not adapting and evolving, you are dying.
1,000% agree. But back to what Cuz said at the beginning of when we got started, he said it's like that game telephone.
Yeah.
And what the issue is if there was a truth, if there was a book of truth, we've come so far from it that if you were to redo it again, you're pushing people even further, possibly away from the original truth. So you could be damning people by accident just off of what you now believe to be the right way to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I'm sure we've already been on the path to damnation from all of the reiterations of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you changed it from this to this to this to this to this. I guarantee you cut out some rules.
Oh, yeah.
Or some things that were really important.
Really important.
Well, no, they cut out anything that didn't keep the seat of power in place. Anything that threatened the seat of power is what was removed.
Right.
Why do you think it's called the King James Bible?
Right.
And a king is not
Definitely don't trust you, motherfucker.
Right, but that's my
Definitely
whole
don't trust
point.
you to rewrite
A
it.
king is not really a godly person. That's why I don't get the King James version. Like, a king is more devil-like than anything.
I don't disagree at all, but that's my point, is that everything that has been edited out has been edited to keep the power where it is.
That's a fact.
I don't know if
That
I would
is a
say
fact.
devil-like.
And the only time that you see them willing to change or make edicts, and I'm speaking probably largely of Catholicism that has a central power in terms of the Pope, but the only time you see changes be made there is something that strengthens the Catholic Church. Why have they become more accepting of homosexuality than they were 20 years ago?
The motherfuckers been accepting of homosexuality just beneath the cloak.
Yeah.
But the reason that they're more open in their support now is why? Because their fucking numbers are dwindling, and the only way that they can, one of the strategies to reinvigorate them is to accept more people.
Right.
Did y'all hear in somewhere in Africa? I don't want to misquote the name of the place.
Right.
But you can now serve life or
for being gay or
for being
transgender.
gay, life or death.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's Uganda.
Uganda.
I think it's Uganda.
Uganda. That's exactly it.
Yep, I did just see that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And that's like how I feel because I have two sisters that are gay, and it's like that makes me feel a type of way.
And I completely understand. I completely understand that. But it's you worked so hard to keep them behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You worked so hard through our existence and hundreds of years prior to keep Africa behind. You can only expect them to take a while to catch up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, let's face it.
I'm not saying it's right, or I'm not trying to give them I'm not trying to give them excuse by any way, because let's be right. You know what's right, what's wrong.
Right.
And as much as you may not want to see that in your specific community, you know what's right and what's wrong. That motherfucker ain't doing nothing to nobody.
Right. That's how I feel. As long as you don't bother me and do what you want to do.
If it makes you happy, I love it.
I love it. I love it.
You hear what I'm saying?
Okay, but
everybody has the right to happiness as long as it isn't infringing on other people's rights to happiness.
I don't even know if I believe in that, because sometimes to be happy makes someone else unhappy. Now,
but that was part of my statement. Was that as long as you're not infringing on someone else's happiness.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, and I guess that's a part of it. Is like, so what weighs more? You know what I mean? Your happiness or theirs? Now, my whole thing is more so than happiness. I feel like feeling. Yeah. I don't want to hurt your feelings mentally or physically. I don't want to have to. You don't want to do harm. But if something makes me happy that I know is gonna hurt somebody else, feelings or what, you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like, so take it back to a situation like back in the day where it's like you in high school and your dude gets with a girl and he's with her for 6 months and then they break up and then you find out that you are closer to her than they were. Now, y'all may be meant for each other, but is it then infringing on that man's happiness, so I shouldn't do that?
No, because he gave it up.
Well, see, that's how I feel. Unless you got kids or years in the game, I don't really think that anybody's... But that's just an example, you feel what I'm saying? But I don't think that you did anything wrong. Even if I'm on the ass end of that deal, you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
If you're happy now, of course, I'm going to be shitty for a minute, but be happy. I'm glad y'all are happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you two were happy together, you would have stuck it out.
Right, exactly.
Or figured it out.
So it's like, I don't know if I think infringing on happiness so much as like, you should
then do no harm.
There it is. Harm.
Yeah.
There it is. Perfect way. That's a perfect sum up. That's the sum up. Because you got to think, you wearing a certain thing is going to make someone unhappy. You playing a certain game is going to make someone unhappy. I don't give a fuck about your happiness. Right. I just don't want to harm you.
That's fair. No,
Fuck
that
your
makes sense.
happiness. I'm happy.
Right.
Be happy that I'm happy.
But that's
As long as I'm not harming you.
That's a thing that it's supposed to be in the Bible, though. We're supposed to. I'm supposed to make you happy. I'm supposed to help you.
See,
help you.
I don't think that.
This,
I think that's a misinterpretation.
I don't.
I don't. I believe we're all
I
put
think
here to
that's a
help each other,
yeah,
but
of
we're
course.
not helping
But
each
you
other.
can't. You think about family. Nobody's happy 100%. Nobody's happy 60% of the time.
Fuck the happiness. I'm just here to help you.
Right.
And helping you helps me and helps everybody else.
See, that's what I think it is everybody's so involved in happiness. It's not about being happy.
It's about
about
what I want.
Are you comfortable?
I would contend that Christianity has no reference to happiness.
I don't think so either.
None.
It is subservience, and it is lead a life the way that we tell you to lead.
That's how I feel. I feel like we're servants. We're like bowing down to something that we don't even know what's really going on. You know what I'm saying?
See, and we had this talk a little bit during my whole like diatribe on like Norse culture, Norse paganism. Like, you can drive the community forward and not be subservient to someone. And not be subservient.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with subservience. I think us as human beings are very prideful creatures. And you have to have some sort of, I don't want to call it like rule or fear, but you have to have something that you go outside of yourself for. You know what I'm saying? Because if you stay inside of yourself, then you're not going to serve anyone.
Yes and no. I think that morality, right and wrong, if you look at all of the major religions, they all have some version of like the Ten Commandments, right? And I think the Ten Commandments, generally speaking, are rules to live by regardless of your religion.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not murder.
Right.
Like,
but even then, see, that's what's so weird, and this is one of the reasons when we're going to wrap it up, because this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to bring up that invert in the first place. But it's weird that they would say that, you know, thou shalt not. I guess murder and killing, is that the same thing? Because
I think murder is an unjust killing. Okay. Whereas
I was about to say there's also a scripture, and I know because when my great grandmother just passed and then her daughter, my aunt, just passed, they read the same thing at both scriptures, and I can't remember it in completion, but it says in the scripture there's a time to, you know,
time to fight,
a time to warn. It goes to kill. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we know that there's a time that I may have to take a life, and you put thou shalt not murder in there, I'm not asking for like any stipulations like under it. You know what I'm saying?
I do think that what's actually referred to as thou shalt not kill. However, there are plenty examples of quote-unquote justified killing in the Bible, in society.
I gotta find this quote. All I gotta do is look up I got both of their
programs.
Yeah, at the house. I just gotta look it up because every time I read it, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it. Because it's going like even odd, like a time to be soft, a time to be hard, like shit like that.
Right.
And I agree with that. 100%. And to put it so vague in a book of rules, essentially, was like, And I'm not saying like it, you know, it wasn't like, oh, well, maybe you could go, you know, but it's like, okay, so there's a time for it, though. Might not be now, but there's a time, and you could go through life without never coming to that time. Yeah. But then there could be a time, and is that justified in the eyes of, you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, the revisions, it's like that could have been something that
could have been a lot more nuance there.
Right.
All right, before we move on, so the Reets in the chat with Jesus is a common Jesus is a common name in Spanish-speaking countries, pronounced Jesus. Yeah, no, Mom. I was talking about when back in the time of Christ, was Jesus a common name? I don't know. Malk just chiming in with what's good, fools. What up, Malk?
What's going on, Malcolm?
What up, FB?
And then, Amanda Holyfield, super fan in there with Ecclesiastes 3:1, or chapter 3, verse 1 through 8 is what you're talking about.
And I think she's exactly right. Man,
super fan is super fan across the board.
See, now if I find out that I was more compatible with Superfan and I was like, hey, let me say something to you, that would probably hurt Mike's feelings. But if it made me happy, does that mean? No, I'm just I'm just playing.
If it makes you happy.
Right.
Does it do
stop
no
your
harm?
happiness?
There you go. I mean,
No,
I don't think I would be.
That's hard.
I mean, I'd be happy for you.
No, I would never. I would do that to you.
Oh shit! All right, moving on. So, topic of tonight's show was: are they here already?
Ooh, and I'm glad you
I'm
brought.
glad
I'm glad you brought that up. What did I ask you to bookmark for me?
Was it the Ashanti thing, or was it something else?
No, it was what we was talking about, and I said bookmark that because that's going to take us into. You said something. I can't remember what the fuck you said.
Oh, during this conversation?
Yeah.
They saying that they already
I can't
here.
remember.
There's a mothership soon. They say.
I mean, I did bring up that if we were descended from the first man, the first people.
Oh,
rather
the
than-
puddle shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
get you back to that. I don't mean to cut y'all
No,
off.
you good.
Have y'all seen the movie Osmosis Jones?
Yeah.
The cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
That's Eddie
think
Murphy?
about this all
Will
the.
Smith? Eddie Murphy?
I feel like it's Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
I think it's Will Smith.
I think
Will
it's Will
Smith.
Smith too.
Wait, no. I think Will Smith does the fish movie.
He does, but I think he did Osmosis Jones.
Did he?
One of them did.
I know you're talking about
Yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah,
Oscar the
Oscar,
shark.
The
guy.
blue
yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I
The
thought
blue
Osmosis-
motherfucker with
Well,
the
no,
cut.
and then he got the pill, the two pills that come in.
Oh,
and
it's
fight
Chris
off.
Rock.
Chris Rock.
Which makes it even funnier that
Right.
we got the two flips.
Right, get the fuck out of here.
Oscar the
But
Shark
yeah, nah,
Slayer
what about
smacked the
it,
shit
though?
out of Osmosis Jones. All right.
But I think about this all the time, though. Like, what if we're all cells in like a different person,
In a larger organism.
or something? There have to be a person.
This
but
is
something.
a little bit of a.
We
We
talked
talked
about
about
this,
this, that we are basically the cells of the universe.
Right.
And that the universe itself is a living
So
being
when
and
we
we
go,
are just pieces of it.
do we come back in a different form of the?
That's interesting that
entity
you
or
Does
say
your
that.
neural energy go somewhere and you just enter something else?
That's interesting that you say that, right? Because
That's like the, what is it, the Pixar movie?
Yeah.
I almost had a what?
Soul.
Okay, no, I didn't see
You ain't
that.
seen that? Yeah,
No.
it's yeah.
I also had another invert, right? And not to take us off, but just real quick, when you say that, like when you die, what do we come back as? And I think that even us as humans, once again, so prideful, think that we've been someone else in our past life, and I don't doubt that we have it. But how many animals or insects have we been as well? How many cruel deaths have we had by being antelopes getting run down by a lion, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
if you believe in
Hinduism,
isn't that the reincarnation theory that basically you evolve with each passing? If you pass from
Right,
one
and it's
caste to
levels,
the next,
right.
And you can also get stuck in levels
Stuck
if
in
you don't
one.
complete your mission or whatever.
whatever it is, yeah.
But what if? But
I'm also
okay, we
supposed
go
to
with
say,
somewhere else. Okay, if I step on an ant, where does he
He
go?
just created a new person. He's coming to
right?
get you in the next life.
Right? That may be somebody you beefing with in the next. You hear what I'm saying? I used to have to stop Karma from stepping on ants all the time. I used to be like, why are you so fascinated with killing something that can't hurt you back? Like, leave the ants alone. If they're not
That's humans.
bothering you,
That's humans.
That's true.
I just don't. It just used to drive me crazy. And I used to be like,
humankind.
and I understand she's a child and she's just doing kid shit, but I'm like, it's not like you're going out of your way to kill an ant. Like
you done it before. I know you done took a magnifying glass.
I definitely have, but that's more science than just stomping with my shoes.
That's a quick death. You burning him.
Burning alive.
That's still science, though.
Oh,
Shoes?
so it's okay to experiment on living beings?
Right.
What about Tuskegee Cliff?
You lucky it's March.
We outside the month.
We outside
I
the
just
month.
can't talk
You gotta
shit
wait,
about
wait,
You
women.
lucky it's right. Now you hear me? Don't get me started on what's her name?
Oh, by the way, I'm also supposed to tell you that Superfan is also a big fan of Casamigos.
Ooh, listen, don't try to get it. Don't try.
The last time I had Casamigos, it wasn't good for nobody.
Nah, I'm cool. Like I'm grown now, so I can.
Sip.
You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, man, Casamigos would have had me in a cell or a hell of a situation.
Bad situation.
You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
That's why I drink Douce or
Nah, I need
some Remy or.
only vodka or tequila for me. And I'm getting older, so I like it with a little tonic or club soda.
I get that.
You know?
I don't do liquor anymore.
As y'all getting older, are y'all liking things y'all didn't like as
Definitely.
like
Like
more
what?
and more like
You mean like taste? Like
taste or
taste,
everything?
definitely.
I feel like I gotta
evolves.
give fish another try because, like, I haven't had fish in a long time because I
Oh.
just can't stand the smell.
Oh, we
Or
might have to.
you have to,
I might
like,
need
get
to
it
be
cooked
around
right.
for that. I'm gonna have to cook you some fish too,
All right,
because it may be that you didn't have it the right way.
that's
either.
true too.
Right.
That's true too. I mean,
If it's not
No, if
cooked
you-
right,
I am
get
white.
past the-
You know,
if
we
you
don't
can-
do a lot of seasoning.
If you can get past the
Right.
smell, right? Because let's be honest, like chitlins are the worst smelling. Not if you clean them right,
you're not
but
clean right, but they're good.
man,
They're good.
I haven't
I
had
hear
them
you.
in years. But chitlins are man.
You know what you mean though, right?
Yeah, it's pig intestines.
That's so nasty.
Yeah, the holes that the shit passed through. I mean, but they good though. I'm not gonna lie.
Good,
If
You
they-
gotta clean them.
you have to clean them.
But if you eating a hamburger or anything, that's the same difference because they
Right.
taking it and mashing all
Right,
the
all that's included. Right.
Right.
The fuck? We just eating it raw. Ain't no chaser to this pork.
This comes from the dude who told me he doesn't eat pork.
Nah, I
Really, some
don't, but I
chitlins.
miss chitlins. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every now and then I slip and I'll get like a pepperoni pizza just to, you know.
Yeah,
But
I tried to get some ribs from James today, but I think they closed. Man.
no,
You
I
gotta
had
figure that out.
something the other day. I think I had a
I had
bacon
no ribs.
cheeseburger the other day. But every now and then I'll, you know, get, because it's not like I said, like I'm religious or anything.
Right.
I'm just not eating pork. So
No, I get it.
It's not good for you.
No, that's why I don't eat it.
It's not good for you.
But every now
But
and
it's
then,
so good.
it man, it might be the best meat.
Ever.
It
I
might
don't know.
be the best. I love beef. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I love a good
beef.
steak over
I
a
think
pork chop.
bacon is the.
Love steak over a pork chop.
I put bacon on everything.
Yeah, but what is better than bacon?
See, I'm not a big bacon guy. I've always been
Man.
more of a sausage guy.
I have two. I have two.
Like, if I've got a choice between the breakfast meats, I'm taking sausage over
sausage.
bacon.
But even
I'm
a
taking
sausage
bacon.
is pork.
I understand.
Yeah, the same thing.
I'm not arguing against pork. I have no problem with pork.
A spicy breakfast sausage, like you know the Bob Evans green condom joint with the twist on it.
Twisted.
You know, it's like an oversized Tootsie Roll. Man, tell me that.
Fact.
I used to put that in my spaghetti.
I made some wonderful. Actually, I cooked for like the first time in a long time this week. I made some wonderful stuffed pork chops with some spinach salad stuffing.
For real?
Stuffed pork chops.
I would have liked to know something about that.
Mm-hmm.
The spinach salad I do is like what they do with the pork chops at Cap City.
I
I don't think I've had Cap City.
don't know. I think I might have been there once or twice, but if I'm remembering correctly, I only get steak when I go there.
I mean, that makes sense. I go back and forth between the steak and the pecan crusted pork chops because they're fucking phenomenal.
Okay, I might have to keep that on the
Keep it on the radar.
Yeah, when I have a cheap pork day. Because that sounds good. Pecan crusted pork chops.
Sounds good.
On a spinach salad with chipotle mashed potatoes.
Man.
That's
that
my
sounds
go-to
like
order
something.
there.
I'm not going to lie there.
That sounds expensive.
I like how we started.
How much is that plate?
Probably $17.99, $18.99.
Oh my gosh, that's cheap.
Oh,
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
At most, it's $25.
That's still that. Yeah, that's not what I expected.
Sit down and eat somewhere.
That's not what I expected.
Nah, Cap City's not bad, especially for like a Cameron Mitchell restaurant.
I keep hearing about Cap City. I just never been.
Yeah, I think I've been there once. If
The one
I'm
on
remembering
Olentangy is
correctly.
better than the one in Gahanna, but they're both good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out because that alone right there just got a pecan crusted pork chop. I haven't had a pork chop in at least 10 years.
See, I always felt more comfortable seasoning
I haven't had
and doing stuff with pork than I did with like beef. I just cook and eat,
See,
but salt, pepper, maybe a little bit, but
you
like
disrespectful. Compound butter. Put some compound butter on your steak.
but
Cook it,
so good
sear
by
it, sear it
itself.
on the pan.
Oh yeah, you gotta sear it.
Sear it on the pan, take the pan, throw it in the oven with some compound butter on top, pull it out, medium rare, medium.
I need it still bleeding.
Play with me, man. I'm telling you, I've damn near perfected my steak cooking now. I'm not gonna lie about that.
I can't stand a bloody steak.
Oh, I love it.
It's not blood though.
I know it's not blood. I recently just found that out though.
Yeah, it's not
I
blood though.
It's they put that artificial coloring to keep
Well,
artificial.
I mean,
preservative,
it's. I'm sure there's a little bit of blood in there, but I mean, who hadn't fucked on a period? Like, it's not that deep. Like,
Yeah, but I'm
It's
not
thin,
necessarily
like-
going down on a period. So
right, I'm not talking about red wings, but I'm saying like it's thin. Like,
And that's a cow period. That's
it's not a cow period. It's
No,
you
it's
cut
just
a
what's
cow on
left.
the arm and you bit it. You're a vampire. You're a cow vampire.
A cow vampire?
That's all
A
that
pig
is.
vampire?
I ain't eating the cow's pussy. I'm biting your motherfucking back.
You are though, because it just grind over.
Yeah.
It could
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Listen, well, no, I eat cut. Well, my burgers. You right. Probably ate a few cow pussies in my day.
Assholes too.
I'm sure that. I'm sure that.
You don't eat ass, huh?
I'm sure that the non-speakables were involved in there too. Let's keep that a buck. So
Yes, yes.
I guess we cow bisexual if you want. And don't get me started on
where
baloney.
are we? We are at
Oh,
43 minutes in.
Are we really?
This is getting clipped out. So 40 minutes.
Are we
in.
really?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, time flies when you having fun. Let's get to
Dang.
these aliens.
Is it?
I mean, I kind of started
Yeah, it don't
off
feel
there.
43.
That's how we started up, but
I know, but it just went there.
Yeah, it went
so,
there.
have you heard about the tardigrades?
aren't those like microscopic organisms that like kind of look like bears?
Listen, this is how I know white folks is crazy, right? Because when
This is also something that's very prevalent in Star Trek. So this is where
with the
but,
tardigrade, whatever. Okay,
Because
so
the
listen.
tardigrade is basically there's multiple episodes where like they get magnified or something, and that's kind of how they present as like
As
this.
bear?
As almost
No,
like
it
a
looks
bear.
like a short caterpillar with hella like I don't know how to.
appendages.
It's
I'm lost.
and this is why I said this is how I know white folks is crazy because I'm listening to the UFO podcast and the only reason why I was listening to it because I sent you that article about them believing that it's a mothership in our atmosphere, and they're
Or,
talking.
I thought it was in our solar system.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Solar system, right? I didn't mean atmosphere, but the episode I was listening to was talking about these tardigrades, right? And they was like, what we've been doing is pulling them out of space and bringing them back here. And what they'll do is they don't die. So like extremely high temperatures, extremely low temperatures. What they do is they basically dry up.
Okay.
Like they can survive completely dehydrated. So like they dry up almost in like a comatose state. And then when you bring it back to a suitable atmosphere, it thaws out or rehydrates,
whatever it needs
and becomes. So they're trying to figure what makes it be able to do that, to of course try to integrate that with humans.
Right.
But my whole thing with that is, if you think that that's not an alien,
This is a real thing that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
These are real like microscopic organisms that dwell in space.
and they're pulling them out of like the just floating around in space. They pull them out and they'll be dead or look dead, and then they'll bring them back down to Earth and put them like, you know, in some water or something, and they'll come back to life and reproduce. So they're studying them right now. I'll show you a picture when I saw. But again, why I say white folks is crazy, because I'm listening to the podcast and they're like, they're so cute. They look like Pokemons.
You know what I believe too?
And I immediately looked them up and was like, oh, this is, what was that movie? What was it, Evolved or something?
Yeah.
Where the dude was like, look at that cute little, and it jumped at its neck and started eating. And I was like, see, that's, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. Because if you think this fucking crazy looking alien thing is cute, they called it a Pokemon. When I looked it up and clicked on Google, I immediately swiped up like, nope, nope, nope. Don't want to see that no more. I don't even like the picture of it.
I've got
I'm
one
about to show you.
Yeah, I need to see a picture of it.
I'm about to show you.
And it makes me think like, what if
It's called a water bear, by the way.
a water
Is
bear.
it?
Tardigrade water bear.
What if we're not from here and this planet is killing us?
This goes back to my first man theory. We are made in the image of our creators. Our creators is just not one mighty, all-powerful God. It is.
That's it.
Aliens off of a different
This
planet.
is real.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Like, we're not from here and this planet is killing us.
So here we go. Here we go.
I believe that.
Now getting into my shit, right, is they was also talking about on, it wasn't the same podcast, it was a different UFO podcast. They was talking about generational ships.
Uh-huh.
That's what we're working
We
on
talked
now.
about that. They talked about that on the Theo Von and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Did they?
Yeah, they did a little bit.
I must have
I
missed
like
that.
Theo. I like Theo.
I love Theo Vibe, man.
I
He's
like
funny
Theo.
as fuck. But the generational ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think to myself, like, when I heard that, immediately my first thought was Sim City. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so the goal is to get enough wealth to build enough infrastructure to be able to basically take off on a generational ship. You feel what I'm saying? So if we believe that the Egyptians that built the pyramids were more advanced than us, then what makes you think that they may not have been able to produce a generational ship to leave the atmosphere?
Well, so this goes back to the first man theory, and I think I've sent you videos on like TikTok and stuff about this, where they have basically gone back, and there are several instances of artifacts that have been found, structures that have been found, that based on their age, human civilization did not have the technology to create.
Right, the pyramids.
Stuff like the pyramids, stuff like Stonehenge, things that just theoretically we didn't have the power to create or the technology to create.
So how do we do that?
And what they have done is they've done a composite and said, based on all these artifacts around the earth, here is what the architectural structure of buildings and things from that first civilization may have looked like. And they're using AI and all sorts of shit to generate this, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Does it look more complex than what we have?
Not quite, but what it does look like is it's architectural structures that we have no record of on the planet as being a single society.
Well, that makes sense, though.
It does. And that's where I think that the you know, do I believe that there were, looking at the Greek, Roman, Norse mythologies of basically these superhuman gods, Do I think that that was necessarily true? No, but is it possible that those representations of superhero gods were actually just a more advanced species that was here getting us started and then pieced the fuck out?
Right. Because, see, and it's funny that you say that, right? Because here's my thought about the whole situation is you saying it's a mothership in our solar system.
And with that mothership is...
Us, really, right? Because wasn't it, what's the name of that, the dumb show? Not the dumb show, the comedy... Star Trek.
The Orville?
Yeah, wasn't there an episode where they were being invaded and they were scared of who was invading and they found out that they were fellow humans that were just further
super
along
advanced because they landed on a planet that like operated outside of our space-time. Yep.
So that's what I'm kind of getting the vibe of, right? Because in the same podcast they explain like the nukes, right? Like us dropping nukes into them. They were like, nukes fuck with like atoms and shit. Mm-hmm. Like that can change shit. Like, so they're like, imagine you throwing a rock into a lake. How the ripples wave out through the entire lake and just get smaller.
Not to mention you're actually changing the structure of the lake at that point.
Right, right. So us dropping nukes, even test nukes in the ocean, could ripple into the solar system that could, you know, bobble somebody's ship. Like, what the fuck are they doing over there? Let's go check that out before they fuck us up.
But even bigger than that is not necessarily the nuclear weapons. It's the nuclear fusion experiments. It's things like the Hadron Collider where we are slamming atoms into each other at ridiculous speeds to try to create energy. Like, those are the types of things. And if you... And again, I'll use sci-fi as my example for this. Star Trek. Do you know what the reason was or how Earth became like known to the rest of the galaxy? It was one warp flight where we crossed the light speed barrier. The Vulcans had it on sensors, and they came and said, "What's up?" Because we crossed the threshold of their what they considered to be technologically relevant. And it's possible that things like the Hadron Collider, things like nuclear explosions, things like that are signals or things that species outside of our solar system or even at the edges of our solar system can pick up and say, "Oh, these guys are about on this."
Yeah, they fuck our shit up. We're about to check this shit out.
Right. And so, you know, I don't know if I necessarily... Couple of pillars here. One, I believe there's other life in the universe. It's stupid to think that we are the only intelligent life.
No way, we're the only ones.
Two,
where are these new animals and bugs?
I think it is.
Where you get that fucking ugly Pokemon?
I think it is probable and possible that they are aware of us and maybe even are on a planet that we're aware of.
Right.
Like we have found I think it's only a handful, and I could be wrong, of planets that are in habitable zones within their own solar system.
Beyond that, they found
like
life,
Alpha Centauri.
They
Alpha
found
Centauri
life on them. They're just not our life. They're microbe, like we talked about. And shit.
Well, and the thing is things that are outside of our solar system, we have no way to investigate at this point other than what we can visually see.
Right, up close.
And we can't visually see through their atmospheres. We can only see basically the exterior of the planet.
You can't see people on Earth.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So we know that there are planets that are comparable to Earth. We know that, and that's hubris on our part, thinking that the only place where there's life is places that are comparable to our own planet.
Right.
Those are places that we could maybe inhabit one day.
You just found a little fucking parasite that can survive extreme heat, extreme cold, anything that can just float out in the atmosphere
and that picture you showed
survive.
That picture you showed me, I swear I've seen it on a movie, like some kind of sci-fi movie. You know what I'm saying?
Probably that evolved.
Like drawn just like that with all the
Starship Troopers had that big thing. Yeah. Remember that big worm-looking thing?
With the pussy mouth.
Yep, and he shot it in the. Yep.
Well, like I said, it's shown up in a bunch of different.
That's exactly what it was, though.
So I'm trying to think when was that discovered?
Well, they just now named it, and they named it after a Harry Potter villain, so you know it's been new enough for them to.
Tardigrade as a word has been around a long time.
Oh, I'm sure the word has, but the scientists purposely, that's what they said, at least on the podcast, that they purposely named it after the Harry Potter villain or whatever.
Oh, it was a mythical creature at one point. To your point, which is probably what inspired the Harry Potter villain.
I don't know about
I'm trying to see when we
neither.
discovered and named it, but
I feel like it's fairly recent, and the only reason why I say that is because think about the fucking, how long has Harry Potter been out of the loop until the game?
Yeah, it came out in like 2000.
You know what I'm saying? Harry Potter had.
I don't know when the books.
But I'm thinking about the movies and
Right.
shit. The movies they died off a while ago. So
No, we've been aware of them since like 1800.
and we just didn't call them that?
I don't know. It says tardigrada here.
So these things been known about.
Yeah. But to Cliff's point, like everything else you said is spot on. But we've known of them since about 1800. It says 1778, 1780.
How the fuck they
How
get a
they
hold of
know?
them?
And they didn't have the technology.
Yeah,
They would have
even-
had microscopes and things like
But
that.
they are everywhere then.
Yeah.
So they're
The big thing is they're able to survive, to your point, in certain
they're like-
right now.
they're like right. So like COVID, like
Right.
we can be anywhere. We can be already here, already there, already on Mars.
Yeah. But to the point, if we can understand their physiology and what allows them, that we could. I mean, I'm sure the plan is to figure out how to adapt it.
And how to live
But
forever.
that's where you're mixing.
Would you
like,
want to live forever?
Never,
No.
never in a million years.
I don't think I would want to do that.
I don't care if life was paradise. I wouldn't want to live forever.
I don't know.
Not this life. Live forever, maybe, but not this life.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, live for. I
Coming
would
back
like
to our reincarnation conversation.
Yeah, I would like to die in between.
Right.
Because if you're not dying at all, then living means nothing.
But I don't believe like
That was another
this is-
Neil
I
deGrasse
believe, like,
Tyson
this is
quote.
just-
Was
from-
it?
Yeah.
And that's another
Yeah.
reason why I sent you. I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no,
why I
you
sent
good.
you that text that I don't really like his realm of thinking, like how he's so definitive.
Yeah.
Is remember he said in the beginning. That's the first thing that turned me off. He said there are phrases that have never been spoken in the human universe, and one of them was the joke.
Oh.
The dick sucking joke.
Stop before I call
Stop
the
sucking
police.
my dick before I call the police. And I guarantee you that's been said before. I guarantee you that's been said in multiple situations.
you've been in New York.
Never been in New York.
But hey, you know how many suck my dicks and
Well, yeah, they toss that out a lot. But I'm just thinking immediate. Even the molecule, when she was like, perfect example. I was at the, New York shit where they study molecules, and Martha Stewart was there, and she said, Neil, you have dust on your molecule. So how many chemists have sets of molecules and
Right.
have made that joke before? Like, you're pompous thinking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're thinking in the realm of a scientist that until someone proves me wrong, what I believe is correct. I'm not saying you're not willing to say that was wrong, this is now right, but you can't automatically assume definitives like that.
Yeah, and you and I debated a little bit in text about that in the terms of the way that he was saying it. I agree with you. Comes off as definitive, but I don't think he really means it as definitive.
I understood what you were saying when you said that. Maybe that's just the way he is. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm sure if you talk to any scientist, they would feel like that.
Yeah,
like, I haven't found a study that proved me wrong, so I'm right.
that's what it
Like,
is.
come on, G. Like, we know you're a scientist. You've studied enough to know that we don't know anything.
Right.
Including you, motherfucker.
Right.
We're learning.
All the time.
So let's just say we're learning.
Right.
You don't know.
Right now, we believe that blah, blah, blah.
Right. And I'm with that. But
Right.
this is, and it can't be, and shut the fuck up, because
Right.
something's going to come out next year to prove you wrong.
And that's what's funny on that tip, because it's almost like, how many times has he been proven wrong? And he even referenced one, like, in the
Thor
podcast.
shit,
right,
the hammer.
Yeah.
And I've heard that story so many fucking times on Joe Rogan, on Theo Vine, on motherfucker, everywhere.
That's the only one that he's ever been proven wrong on, Cliff.
Yeah, let me find out, because I can guarantee you. Just hope don't nobody suck your dick to the point you gotta call the police. You ain't had your dick sucked right. I'm just
I don't want no hair like that. I gotta call the police.
Oh my God, stop before I call the police. Everybody's done it after they should have, though. Like, okay, I say, okay.
Stop it.
All right, thank you.
I'm sensitive.
Right.
I'm sensitive.
Give me a minute.
Why do they keep going?
I'm about to call the police.
I can't say anything because I keep going too. So
Listen, you gotta get that.
because if you hit it right, you get the rolling ones, and then it's like it's over from there.
Yeah, no, dudes can multiple orgasm like women, but it's not as easy.
It's not,
It's not as frequent in between.
Right.
When I get to that point, if you keep going, I'm gonna damn near try to hit you in the back of your head.
Or call the police.
I'm gonna call the police.
Call the police, Neil. The fuck who's giving you head? That science head must hit different.
No, that's
Go to band camp, bitch. I don't know what
I
the
do
fuck.
not want. You give me that.
Now, if a bitch get me to think of the atmospheres and solar systems,
Jupiter.
she give you that DMT head, you might need to call the
You
police.
leave the planet?
I've called the police for less.
You left the planet?
We don't call the cops in this house.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
at all.
Not unless
They don't show up anyway, so what's the point?
Not unless they
I'm
suck
calling
you
once
back
in
to
my
the
life.
future. Shit. You goddamn right they don't show up anyways.
They actually showed up. The first and only time I've ever called in my life, they actually showed up.
For real?
See, I called him about the stereo getting stolen off my porch. I'm like, look, I got video, I got the car. Here you go.
You had a stereo on your porch.
I bought a stereo system for the basically just DJ equipment.
For like a cookout? Like
Yeah,
what? Okay.
It was a PA system.
And you just had it on the porch?
Amazon delivered it on Sunday about 5 minutes before I got home.
I
They
used to work
were
for Amazon.
following the truck. They walked right up, took it literally 2 minutes after it was delivered, had it all on video.
That was the driver's homie.
No doubt.
That was the driver's homie.
No doubt.
Amazon, I work there. They will leave your package on the porch.
Listen.
And usually, they used to make you sign for anything over $100.
Listen.
Ever since COVID, they stopped that.
I had them deliver
Now, I will say they gave me all my money back, though.
Yo, they good for that.
I had them deliver, I think, a $400 TV that they just left on my porch.
Mm-hmm. I left, I went to one house, I left 15 TVs on the porch.
Nah, see, my whole
That's
thing...
his job. I'm not mad at you.
No. The only reason I was salty was they came up... So, Amazon dropped it off at 3:24.
Mm-hmm.
Person came up on the porch at 3:26. I got home at 3:31.
2 minutes later?
I missed these fuckers by 5 minutes.
Well, no, it might not have been, because I'd have pulled up the stops where they've been watching me for a while, or they've been following me, little kids that come through the alley.
Yeah.
We had some kids in my neighborhood that's tried to get the Amazon guy a time or two.
Oh, that also reminds me. I had an incident earlier.
And I don't mean for the package they were bringing. They were getting
trying to
into
get
the
the
truck.
Please treat your local Amazon drivers very
Oh yeah,
very
absolutely.
well.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, tip them, because when you tip them on that app, they don't get that money.
Right.
Oh, really?
Not at all. The company, they be pocketing that money.
Oh, no. I asked,
Grubhub.
yeah, I never asked Amazon, for the groceries if they get it.
You know how you say thanks and all that?
They never get it.
No,
That's
they don't even
sad.
tell us
Okay.
thanks. We
I'm
don't
glad
show
you
back up
said
to the
that.
plant. They don't
I'm
say
never going.
thanks.
Well, I'll probably tip low just so they know, offer to get it.
Right.
And I'll have cash when they get there.
No, so I had another incident. What was that? That was Friday last week. So A-Reg is playing VR in my office downstairs. And I look out, there's somebody walking down the sidewalk, and then they turn to grab my car door. And it was this old, strung out, I couldn't even tell if they were a dude or a woman, trying to break into my fucking car in broad daylight. Went out on the porch. I just yelled at him because my kid's in the house. I'm like, can I fucking help you? I don't know who the fuck you think you are.
I don't like them type of situations.
But you need to fucking move along.
I'll be the one to come out and start.
You hear what I'm saying? Or at least a couple in the air, like
Right.
nigga.
Right, at least, yeah.
Next couple.
Nah, they were clearly strung out, but still.
Shit, I don't give a fuck. You gotta put fear again, rounding back. Motherfuckers is very prideful. They need somebody to fear.
True. That's
and
true.
if they don't fear God himself, then allow me to be the earthly man to put some in you.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But yeah, that was last week. So
Last week?
Shit. At least they didn't get abducted. Them packages ain't get abducted. So what's with the Tic Tac, right? The Tic Tac, you heard about that? The Tic Tac UFO that's been hovering over Washington, over the Pentagon in D.C.
No.
Yeah, and I have a theory on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've reported a Tic Tac UFO that they don't know
They're
what
in
it
active
is.
negotiations.
It could be, but I mean, like, let's keep it a buck. I guarantee you, because there's also been one over in the Asia area. I don't know where exactly, but if I could hedge my bets, it would be the Pentagon, it would be in Russia, and it would be around North Korea.
China.
On the top.
China, North Korea area.
Yeah.
Because all the most hostile people are out of those places currently, and if something is to go down, it's going to come from those places. And everybody think that they got the most defense. I shoot missiles down out of the sky. I'm sure these Tic Tacs disappear that motherfucker. Like we thought we shot a missile, that motherfucker disappeared over the Atlantic. We don't know where it's at now.
Defenses of the world.
I don't know that they're taking them out, but they're if
You know what I said.
if I were an invading force, I would certainly be looking at the ones that Cliff mentioned.
Yeah, those three.
And if nothing else, reconnaissance.
Right. Those
And
three
I
specifically.
believe that's what they're doing. And they've been doing that. And we're giving them through television or whatever. We're giving them the information.
Yeah. No doubt.
Listen. Because that don't make sense. Like, especially if you had the capacity to be able to, you know, flick the bullet,
Yep.
so to speak. Like, oh yeah, you thought that bullet was fast? Let me change the directions on it real quick. And
Well, and that's where you get into the discussion. If aliens have the ability to traverse the universe or traverse the galaxy or whatever the case is, physical projectile weapons are probably something they're pretty well defended against.
right.
I think we
Like, you've got to be talking particle weapons, you've got to be talking plasma, you've got to be talking something else.
Like some 500-year advanced Agent Orange type shit that they'll release into the atmosphere, and then next thing you know, all the people just.
Yep.
I was talking about this day. What if they was to come down here and you shoot one in the face and he just keep walking towards you? What you gonna do then?
Well, I mean, that's funny that you said that, because I was thinking to myself like that. I had to give kudos to whoever made Independence Day,
Yeah.
because you would think that anybody that would have that technological advancement would not be the most brawn.
Right.
They wouldn't
were fragile.
be the most physically.
They were relatively fragile, but they had exoskeletons and stuff
Exactly.
that they were
So,
wearing.
listen, it's a bad time to cancel Will Smith, is all I'm saying.
What if Will Smith actually is our savior against the alien invasion?
Chris
What
Rock
if-
better say I'm sorry. I'm on his side.
He was-
Like, what's that movie where all your favorite actors are like Men in Black?
Yep.
What if they are aliens?
I wouldn't doubt that.
Tricking us and showing us what. You know
I
what I'm saying?
wouldn't doubt that for a split second.
Who is most likely to be an alien at this point in
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Oh, you think it's all the
Elon
rich
Musk can
people?
fuck
Okay.
himself. Definitely. Elon Musk for sure.
Dr. Fauci.
Then go to. He said Dr. Fauci. Listen. And then go to specific actors. Amber Heard. Actors and actresses. Amber Heard is for sure, because that's a very out of this world thing to do. To shit on somebody's bed because you're upset.
You're back on
and
the
you have
shitting
to
on the
sleep in that
bed.
bed too.
Yeah.
Like, that's very extraterrestrial.
They got money. I'm
if
throwing
you
the whole
ask
bed
me.
out.
Probably Megan Fox.
You hear
She's
me?
up there too. Those
I'm throwing the
thumbs.
whole mattress on her. You fucking
I'm taking it
shitty
up.
UFO
That's
fucking
nasty.
creature.
Megan Fox and her thumbs.
Megan, what's with her thumbs?
Got toe thumbs.
Yeah,
Does she really?
it looks crazy.
It's
I've
crazy.
never seen her thumbs.
You know, Adam, what's his name?
Machine Gun Kelly got a skinny dick and she can't give hand jobs because you got toes on her thumb.
What's my man?
You heard it here first.
Allegedly.
The lawyer lady in the
Allegedly.
booth.
The lawyer lady up there in the booth
What does
is
that
telling me to say
Charlie
allegedly.
Sheen?
No.
Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher. He don't take baths.
Listen, Mila said the same thing, and I used to think she was a cold white girl back in the day.
She still is.
Mila Kunis from that 70s show, Jackie.
Oh yeah, yes.
But she's,
Also the voice
that's
of Meg.
Ashton Kutcher's,
That's
yeah,
the voice of Meg?
yeah, Family Guy, yeah.
Family Guy.
I
Yep.
know that, and I love that.
But she's Ashton Kutcher's wife, and she said the same thing. She doesn't either, and nor do they do their child. They bathe their child once a week or every other week, they said. That's crazy.
I mean, that's
Now-
a that's that.
A child,
I'm not gonna say. I'm not
so
gonna say it's
concerned.
crazy because it's a cultural thing, man. There are plenty of cultures on Earth that don't bathe multiple or during the day or every day.
Right, and I understand that if you have an issue with water scarcity or
Yeah.
clean water, but in
It also dries the shit out of your skin, dude.
man, stop, Joe. Because if you do
with all
it,
this nastiness, that's
no,
bacteria.
because if you're doing what you're supposed to do with your child, then the child's skin doesn't get dry. Because I'm washing you, and then I'm lotioning you,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
immediately swaddling you in your onesie and your.
I hear you.
So
But
you
that
absorb.
lotion, I believe that all these. Just
Don't
lotion-
use that.
See, I'm down to pretty much every other day at this
shit in
point.
it.
You're down to what?
Every other day.
Washing?
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm not doing anything, man. Like,
No, I get it, but see me, I don't know
Us
if it's
men, we can do
because
that. But a week or 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
taking a
no.
bath, you know how bad you would smell?
yeah, no.
shit. I don't even
I've worked
like,
in those environments.
I don't even like not smelling me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not smelling fresh. Like
Right.
soap
No, I'm with
or-
you. Like, if I ever smell like that, I'm hopping in
Like
the shower.
if I smell
but,
plain, I'm like
yeah,
about time. And I know it's not good. Like I know it's not good multiple day showers, but I've definitely hit a few.
I think we all, as men, I think we all done it.
If I feel if I feel sticky or
Oh,
feel
yeah.
uncomfortable, it doesn't matter if I just showered. I'm getting back in the shower.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck how dry I am when I get out.
2 weeks though.
All right, so this Ashanti video.
You heard? We already explained it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we just didn't. You didn't even know we did.
Multiples, though.
What happened?
Oh, you didn't see that Ashanti video?
I'm sorry.
Let me show you while we on the show, just so you can see it. I'm telling you, they getting in formation. That was a formation thing.
I agree, except there were points where it looked like it was like fireworks, but then they
Are you talking
stopped
about
midair.
when she was performing?
Nah, she was
No,
on
she
set
was on
of her
set of
movie.
some video. Yeah.
Right here, huh? Turn the volume down so we don't.
Copyright.
No copyright claims,
Listen.
please.
Please.
But tell me that don't look
Oh
like
yeah, I seen this.
motherfuckers getting in formation. That ain't no fucking firework.
No,
Where did it blow up at?
No, that's I was thinking it was more like the ones that have already gone off, or
Like
just trail off,
or like
but don't
Roman
explode.
candle
Yeah,
type
yeah, yeah.
shits. But
Nah.
that's what from where? That high in the air and they're all going in the same direction and then disappear at the same time? Like that's I don't know what that could be, but if like I told you when I saw it, I said it's either somebody shooting some shit, like some tracer shells, like some, tracers on a missile, or that's people getting information to go somewhere.
For one, they're not shooting that. You know how much a missile costs?
Right.
They're not shooting.
And
That was like 10. That was almost 10 missiles.
Right, and I don't care if that's a 50 cal. Them tracers ain't gonna show you that far up in the sky,
and they're not gonna be lit up for that long. That consistently.
Right. Agreed. That's what gave me pause.
That's weird.
That's crazy.
It's like motherfuckers getting information. Like, oh, we sending you over there. Go over there and see.
Over here.
So I do want to.
There was a pilot that was taking. They were doing just flying around.
Like maneuvering exercises.
And they saw the
object just flying, doing things that they can't do.
It was cutting in front of them on purpose to
joking with them. You know what I'm saying?
Cause I would. If I was flying some shit and I was out of there and you was driving, if I'm in a car and you're in a bike, I'm doing donuts around you.
I'm going crazy.
I'm doing all that.
All kind of shit.
The fuck?
I'm with you.
So that makes sense. I mean, I'm saying though, like,
are we ready though?
No.
Jump off. Jump off. What are we waiting for? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like,
they are waiting for us to be able to have a logical conversation,
and I would
rather
love
than
that.
to just try to start a war.
Don't get me wrong. I would love for that to take place.
How about that?
But jump off. We're not.
It's so much advanced.
We're not going to back down.
If they were going to attack us, they would have done it already.
I don't think so.
There is some credence to that in terms of if.
I don't think so.
Here's the deal. It depends on what their mission is. Like, if they are coming from a devastated world and they are resource gathering, completely agree with you.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be smart for them to come down.
If they are from, say, our ancestors and part of the first man and they're just checking up on us, that gives a lot more credence to something like a mothership in the solar system that's just sending out probes.
Right.
So why don't they just... my thing is, what's up with all this secrecy? Why don't they...
Because they know we're not ready. It's been that
way for hundreds of years.
I know, but what's up
they know we're not. But they know we're not ready for it.
You think not? I think they're definitely doing a good job of easing us into it.
Yeah.
Because right now, motherfuckers is talking about potential of them being in our atmosphere, and people are like, when are you going to give us a raise?
Right.
When is the economy going to balance back out?
And I seen people talking about it, and the next day, everybody's going on with their normal lives. So it's like...
But that is a factor of the 24-hour news cycle, and... I mean, look at it from a natural disaster or social disaster in terms of, like, school shootings.
Right.
You talk about it for the day, and you don't talk about it again.
Just happened in Denver.
Yeah.
That's a piece to y'all who,
Nobody died.
Which, by the way, I didn't realize Suns had a.
Oh, no! I apologize. The 2 security guards did.
They were critical.
They didn't.
One was in critical, and one was.
Yeah, but they were the only ones that got hit, and then the boy that killed himself. So God bless his family.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, but it's clearly
that shit happens every 6 weeks now. Like, and we talk about it for a day, and we move on.
Whether there's tardigrades in the air or something is going on.
We have nothing that captures the national or even global or even national attention for more than 24 hours, 48 hours.
And that's sad, man.
We need another Orson Welles situation.
Because everything it's put in your face.
But that's the problem. Orson Welles is part of the problem. What captures the attention of the national community at this point for more than a day?
YouTube,
television, the latest streaming show, Last of Us, Game of Thrones.
Well, I mean, how is Xbox. Orson Welles the problem?
Because that's what it started with, was War of the Worlds.
You think? Like
the radio program that captured the attention of the nation.
That was the original clout grab, but I feel like right now we're in a realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Like me, myself personally was somebody that didn't. I'm not going to indulge. I don't really give a fuck about outer space or sci-fi or anything like that. And now I'm like, I'm going to check these podcasts. I'm going to check the news.
And I've been grateful for it because we're bringing you over, Cliff. I've been trying to get you to play Star Trek since we were in kindergarten.
We still may be a few years out from there. That might be why they sent me back in my dream, because I was like, oh, that's what y'all wanted me. Oh,
whatever. We were on the bridge of a starship together in fucking VR, dude.
I enjoyed that.
I achieved my 30-year dream of playing Star Trek
and
with
I'm still in. I'm still in.
It's fun.
It is. The Star Trek VR is fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It's fun.
It's funny. I've been on the Star Trek Online on Xbox lately.
That's the free one?
Yeah.
Is it crossplay?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I might have to get that.
I mean, it's a typical MMORPG.
Yeah, I played it a little bit. I think I downloaded it on the Xbox and then I never played it because I didn't know what I was doing for real.
Nah, and the console version takes a little more getting used to than the PC version. I had played it on PC originally.
I remember back.
I've been bored.
You played it back when the computer was
over here.
Yeah, I remember watching you. I do remember that.
Well, we didn't talk about it because it happened while we were off. What'd you think of the? And spoiler alerts. What'd you think of the Last of Us season finale?
I thought it was good. You want to speak this for me? I thought it was good. I'm not gonna lie. So,
because I had gotten a little bit of communication from you earlier in the week before it dropped, like that you were upset about it.
I was. I'm not gonna lie.
Because you thought that they weren't staying true enough to the game, and I think my response was I told you that there was no way that they were going to kill Joel because they didn't think that what's-her-name could carry the show.
Well, we don't know yet, right? Because the season finale is the intro of
the second game.
2. Right, I said season 2 of the second game. So Joel wouldn't necessarily die in the show, I would imagine, until the 3rd or 4th season or episode of season 2.
Okay, and that's what they're kind of teeing up is
for a minute before.
And what they've said is that the second game is 2 seasons, so we're looking at like a 3-season show unless they go beyond the game.
I played the first game.
See, I never played the first one. I did watch it. That was the one I said I watched some people play on YouTube.
From what you told me, it's different from the first one because the first one was more like I'm playing a movie or something.
See, I don't know. But so I went to Indy with Malk this past weekend. And one of my people's baby moms plays.
Okay.
She's a gamer and she was like, yeah, no, the first one was pretty on with the first game.
Gotcha. Well, and I only have an Xbox, so I've never played, but I'm aware of the story.
But there were eerie similarities to certain scenes that I'm wondering how they can pull that off again without making us feel like that's the same thing that happened in the first season. You know what I mean? Like,
there's enough similarities in the second game and the first game that you worry that it'll be repetitive.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good show though, and I would have done the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You're not about to take my little one, even though this isn't my child. I developed feelings for her.
Right.
You're not about to take my little one for a chance.
Right. For something that's not guaranteed.
Now, what I immediately thought when it was taking place is I would have had the conversation with her prior.
Now, see, that is something
if this is a situation where your life is being taken for the betterment of everyone else, how do you feel about it?
And that was what Kristian Harloff and that crew talked about, was the fact that if they had allowed Ellie to be the one who made that decision, is it different?
See, here's the thing. It's different. You know 85% she's going for take me out.
Yeah.
But for the chance of, though.
Right. Versus a guarantee.
Like, that's when I feel like the adult comes into play, and it's like, well, wait a minute, though, because...
What did you think about him lying to her and her confronting him on the lie and just accepting it?
It was the same way in the game.
Was it?
It was the exact same way in the game.
If you haven't noticed, I haven't seen this.
Oh, sorry, we're spoiling it for you.
It's all right. It was the exact same way in the game, and I felt the way in the game too.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I understood, but I was still like...
Did you not have the choice to tell the truth?
No, it's just a cutscene.
It's just a cutscene. It's not a choice.
Because it's basically like
I struggle with that in games sometimes. Like, I like it when they give you the choice.
Yeah, no, if I'm remembering correctly, you start out immediately as Joel rushing the hospital to get her back.
Okay. All right.
So when you get out of there, it's like similar to the show where like she's in the back seat and and then after you get her clothes and you are going back to your Tommy's, your little brothers, she stops you and asks you, and it's just a cutscene. And I did feel like, damn, like me, I'm not a big liar.
Yeah.
I have before, and I will again.
Right.
But I'm not a big liar. Like, something that deep, I don't know that I could have kept secret. I think I would have had to tell the truth. Like, listen, if I'm being honest with you, and you may hate me, I got PTSD from losing my daughter, and I didn't want to lose you. And I made some mistakes as far as your friend, the one who took you from her mother and raised you.
I killed her.
I won't speak on it. You be the judge.
Yeah.
But I'll allow you to do that.
Right.
But I at least want you to know where I was at. I apologize.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And if you so choose to want to go back, I will fight every which way I can to get you back to the Fireflies if that's what you choose. That's what you want. But I could not on my watch.
And they didn't tell you.
Right, not on my watch. It felt shady. Yeah. Not on my watch.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Because I don't mind a motherfucker not liking me, but as long as I feel comfortable with the reason
why you did. Yeah.
You can not like me for the rest of your life.
For your life. And your mama's life.
Listen. And I may still love you. Mm-hmm. But if you don't like me, that's fine. That's fine with me. I still love you, though.
You know how many people is in this world?
Not enough.
Well, according to some people, it's too many people on this planet. They're trying to exterminate some.
And that's another thing, like, right? Like you said, like, we already in. First of all, we talking about population control, and sex, reproduction, everything is on the low. Then y'all trying to experiment with tardigrades.
Call like, back.
You just want the whole shit to be overrun. You want everything to be overrun.
That's the play. That's the plan. I mean, that's the.
Because then if
and that's when the aliens step in. Here
it go. Because if you tardigrades, we can dehydrate you and shoot you out into the atmosphere like a t-shirt cannon and come back and pick you up when we need you to come back.
What if
it doesn't?
That's like the cloud now. Shoot them up into the cloud. We'll get them later.
What if experimenting on tardigrades is what gives us the key to stasis? Human stasis.
What do you mean by stasis?
Meaning people can be revived, can basically be put to sleep and then revived.
But I thought that was already a case.
Can't do that now.
No, you can't do that.
I thought there was already
a medically induced coma.
Oh no! I thought there was already. I might be wrong.
Disney. Everybody believes Walt Disney's frozen somewhere. No, and
not Walt Disney, but I do believe, and once again I could be wrong, that there was a successful like
defrosting. I don't think so. Because you would have to like flash freeze in order to maintain organ integrity.
Right, that would be damn near impossible.
Now they did it in shit like Demolition Man.
How do you keep your organs running? Your heart.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because motherfuckers, when the motherfuckers think, like, freezing a motherfucker, they think putting them in an ice cube, but I'm sure you're connected to something the whole time that you're frozen.
Like a ventilator or something.
Right, and if all I have to do is bring your body temperature down to a point of comatose, you could level them out right below to where they're still alive.
That wouldn't stop your aging process.
Right.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, unless you're
Why wouldn't it?
unless you're completely out, unless you're frozen or
Right, that's what I'm saying.
in a
You're
frozen
freezing
state.
now.
There's no way.
That's a good question, but I don't see why it wouldn't.
So I just looked up, is stasis possible yet? And it says there's evidence that even longer periods of stasis may be possible. A Japanese man once survived 24 days in a hypothermic state after a fall off a mountain ledge, and that was from 2017.
And that's natural.
Right.
That's not even artificial with us hooking you up.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I'm
If they were
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Well, I mean, technically, I guess
when
it's
I
like
say I believe I've heard of someone that was successfully.
we'll have to look into that one deeper.
You got to do some research on that because that's tough. How do you?
Well, no, it's intravenous
Nigga,
nutrients and fluids.
we in the era of where you can pick the genome type of your child. You fuck a young lady rich enough and knock her up, and you can say, I want my child to be a male. I want him to be 6'5". I want him to have green eyes and blonde hair. And that will happen for
It's
you.
just illegal in most places.
But it's
And it's a real thing.
currently a real thing. Right now they're trying to find like the what do you like put like the FDA stamp on it
Whatever,
to
yeah.
right.
I've heard they're cloning babies.
I don't know.
We've had the ability to clone since Dolly the sheep.
Clone's been around.
But it's illegal.
Clone's been around since the 80s.
And it's almost illegal. I think it's illegal globally.
But that
and it might have been before the 80s.
so what's so when we're
Maybe.
a clone when we're born.
We've never
the souls get put into
cloned
this
a
body.
human per se.
But still, if
I'm sure
even
it's
if it's an
happened,
animal,
but-
this animal has a soul, a spirit, whatever.
It doesn't have its memories. It just
Yeah,
has
you can't
its physiological traits.
So it doesn't
You
have
can't
a soul.
bifurcate-
This clone doesn't have a.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't bifurcate a spirit.
It depends.
You can't bifurcate a soul.
Biologically, nature of
That's
that
dangerous.
person is the same. Nurture would be different.
I think
But
that's dangerous.
one
I
has
think
a
that's
soul
very
and one doesn't.
How do you know? Once it's cloned, it's a living organism.
So you're saying that you can clone a soul?
So I mean, that'll make you God.
Almost.
That'll
And
make-
that's the thing with
That'll
like,
make us Sodom and
they've-
Gomorrah.
what they've talked about
You
with
feel what I'm
cloning.
saying? So that means it's only a matter of time before.
But the primary purpose of cloning at this point would be procreation. So raising it as a child, which means you're going to nurture it differently than you were nurtured, or organ replacement. Use
the
it as
soul
basically
thing
a
is
shell
what-
that you're
shell.
harvesting to
But the
replace a
soul
organ.
thing is what's different, right? Because a soul can't be changed, right?
Well, it depends on what you define a soul as.
A soul can't be changed. A soul can't be changed. So I'm saying even if you
Whatever
clone,
is inside this.
even if you clone me right now, right? And you, like you said,
But it would go back to your biological start before any of your experiences
So
shaped
listen, and even if you nurtured that clone more than you nurtured me, I do not see how we would still have the same structure, the same purpose, the same, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's only one purpose. You are put here for your purpose. So if somebody else gets cloned, that doesn't mean that they take over your purpose, nor does that mean that they have the same purpose. So that would mean that the souls are different as well,
But I wouldn't
because
call that
your
a
soul
soul.
drives your
I
purpose,
wouldn't
right?
call that a soul though, because you're born with that. This right here is just clay.
Right.
I believe, and I want that.
This is just a vehicle.
It was this guy. I can't remember. I have to do my research and find this video. But it's a guy. It's a doctor. He does experiments on animals, humans,
right?
All this. They're all like have cancer or they're dying or something.
Right.
They're dying. He weighs them before death.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And after death.
Yep, and they all are lighter by 0.25 or whatever.
Exactly the same. Animals and humans.
Right.
They're all exactly the same.
Right.
And they saying that that's the soul leaving that
body. Right.
So how you making this clone, you can't put this soul into this clone.
So let me clone you, smoke you, and then see if 0.25 leaves. That's the only way. You feel what I'm saying?
That's the only way. But I feel like if you got this clone, you can't put a soul in it. So you just got a blank sheet. What if this blank sheet acquires feelings or...
I'm sure they have those.
You get into.
I'm sure they have those things.
Well, and they've already. I mean,
but I don't think that equates to a soul.
But what you're. I agree.
Sociopaths have no feelings and still have a soul.
And that's where I believe sociopaths.
Y'all gonna be mad because I'm gonna go Star Wars here on a second.
Or
but go ahead.
clones, or some form of clonage or something that went wrong. Because there's no way that you can.
Well, and that's what the worry is
people
with human clones is that they could become or would be automatons, more influential or more able to be influenced. And I mean, the reason why I said I take this to Star Wars is that was the theory with when they cloned Jango Fett and created the clone army in Star Wars, was they were able to basically
Jango Fett.
Father
He's a black Jedi that dressed real crazy.
Father of Boba Fett. Actually, Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett. But all you did was you raised the clones in a militaristic environment and made them more susceptible to following orders. And so you had a clone army.
The gun the Clone Wars have.
Listen, so I can see it being based off of that. I can see it being a situation where
that's dangerous.
The reals were hunted.
Right.
Where everyone would be cloned, but we want to kill the real you. So
well, wasn't that kind of the philosophy behind, what was it, Ewan McGregor and like The Island, which was also, I think, based off of The Island of Dr. Moreau? Like, there are instances in literature and film that have explored this concept.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you haven't seen The Island with Ewan McGregor, it's worth a watch. It's good. It's a good flick.
That's not. Okay, I was thinking of old when you said that.
I mean, this was probably early 2000s.
No, I'm talking about the M. Night Shyamalan joint.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's
all
interesting.
Right. Well, that's cloning. Have either of you seen Creed 3?
No.
Missing out.
I'm missing out.
I don't
Creed
think
3,
I am.
Creed 3. All right, so Creed 3, and I did a 60-second review on this on the YouTube channel. If you want to find it, go follow us at the Foolproof Entertainment Network.
Go follow.
But Creed 3 is on par with Creed 1, definitely better than Creed 2.
Well, I was like, that's why I didn't see it, because they lost me with 2.
Yeah, I'm with
awful.
you. Creed 2, I have tried to watch it 4 times.
Atrocious.
I've actually never made it through Creed 2. I've fallen asleep every time.
Atrocious movie.
But Creed 3 is better. Jonathan Majors.
Ambient.
Jonathan Majors.
Right, you hear me?
Jonathan Majors is an up and coming fucking star, man. He is going to be the next Thanos in the Marvel. He's the main villain basically in Creed 3. He's the friend that went to the joint, all that stuff.
It came up.
It is
a dumb story though.
It is and it isn't. Like my problem.
So you were ranked #1 amateur when you went to jail for 15 years and got out and still got a title shot?
Yeah, that part's a little.
There's
There's a lot that goes into it,
You can go to jail for 2 years and be forgotten. Fuck.
Oh no,
15.
he was definitely forgotten. Nobody else reminded him. The only
But
reason
you
he
can't get out of
gets
jail.
the only reason he gets a shot is because of his relationship with
But you know what?
Adonis.
Right. Let me stop though. Let me stop. Let me rewind because that is essentially the Bernard Hopkins story.
Yeah.
But even Bernard had to fight his way up. It wasn't like he got a title
That's what I'm
shot
saying.
as soon as
You
he
still
got
got-
out.
Well,
He
all
was
right.
close,
but a lot of
but-
this goes. So in the movie, I don't want to spoil too much, but I am going to give a spoiler here. It is Drago versus, I think it's Chavez, who is Creed's boy, who came up through Creed's camp, that are supposed to fight. And then something happens, a Tina Turner situation happens, and there is nobody around to fight the champ.
So they
So they bring him up to take the spot because he's the only one willing to take the fight on short notice. And then he fights dirty during the fight to the point of almost getting disqualified.
but still
And
gets
ends
the
up,
dub.
yeah.
That's realistic.
See?
That's realistic.
I mean, honestly, the most unrealistic part of the movie is at the end because you know it leads up to a fight between Creed and Jonathan
Right.
Majors. Is after the fight, and of course, you know
Nigga,
who wins.
you get an 80-20 contract.
Right,
You
but
get an 80-20 with me.
right.
You don't deserve this. I don't even give a fuck if you dirtily beat the guy. 80-20.
Well,
Take it or leave it.
And whether or not that's because I don't know that they get into the split of the purse in that point.
I probably
but,
wouldn't do them like that, but 70-30 at the very least.
But after the final fight, like they squash everything like nothing ever happened. That is the worst part of the movie is the very end where like they squash everything. The final fight is
That's
actually
like the Warrior, though.
yeah, I agree with that. But just the way it happens just doesn't feel right.
And they were brothers and hated each other.
But it's almost predictable. These movies.
But you know
I
how
mean, they're
it is.
super predictable, but it's still worth. Like, I still enjoyed watching
worth
it.
it.
And then the final fight, they did some cool cinematography. So it's kind of a normal fight, like the first 2 or 3 rounds, and then they go into this almost void where like you don't see any of the crowd. You don't. They're almost fighting
Right.
just solo,
them too.
and like the cinematography of it is actually pretty cool because like. The sound drops out, like you just hear
They
them.
said like they were fighting on space in space or something.
Kind of.
That
I believe,
thing.
and that's what nowadays. That's what we're watching movies more for.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's interesting though because that is ultimately how a fight is like.
Yeah, because you don't hear everything.
I can't
around it.
hear the corner or
Even
who's
even
yelling.
when I was playing football,
I'm
man,
focusing on.
I didn't know what was happening around me. I knew
you-
what was right in front of my
Right.
face. The dude that I knew I had to beat.
You take your eyes off that your fighter for 1 second and look in that crowd, he gonna knock
It's
you out.
over. It's over for
The
you.
reason I got caught with fucking personal fouls in football was because it's just me and him at this point. There's nobody around me.
But at the same time, for the end though, you know it don't matter, and I know you know specifically. It don't matter how much you dislike somebody that you're fighting. When you get through it together,
Yeah,
like both of y'all survive, you have a respect
there's
for that
respect
motherfucker.
there.
Yeah.
I get
I
that.
Even
know
if
a
you
lot of
couldn't
people that
stand them, you were
fought
like,
and are
he
now
got
the
it.
best of friends.
Right.
I know.
Everybody I fought, Aaron, Tim, Blue, everybody I'm the closest with.
You know, fought.
Nah,
Right.
some of my, I'm not going to say best friends, but some of my friends from college were guys that I saw on the football field on
Right.
Case Western's offensive line, and then I saw them again in the track circles for hammer and shot put.
Right.
Like, there is a respect that comes with competition.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. Because
For sure.
in order for me to even have this anger towards you, I have to respect you a little bit.
Right.
Right. I wouldn't even want to fight you if I didn't.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm not about to fight nobody that ain't
if I
on
don't
my
give a fuck
level.
About you, I'm like, man,
You're not
fuck
worth
you,
it.
man. Yeah, you're not worth it. I'm about to go home and go eat a steak or something.
You know?
what I mean? Yeah.
I need a competition. Give me
Right.
some. If I don't feel like there's no competition there, I'm not about to.
Well, and I think that that's what they do a good job of in the movie is building up Jonathan Major's character coming out of prison as a threat.
I got
Even
you.
if he has to fight dirty to do it.
But
It's
still
the
a
fact
threat.
that he's willing to fight dirty that makes him a threat, right?
Right,
In the
right.
sense that that's what he's got left. So that's it's solid. would recommend seeing it. It's definitely better than Creed 2. I think it's on par with the first one.
Okay. I'm about to check it out because I've not seen too many movies in the last year.
Yeah, no. I've been on a kick lately. Like, I saw Quantumania in theaters. I saw Creed 3 in theaters. I just went and saw the new Scream movie in theaters.
They have a new Scream?
Oh, yeah, no, there's a Scream 6. It is... So, Scream 5 was a Paramount Plus joint. So, I don't even know if it was released in theaters or if it was just on Paramount Plus.
Straight to stream.
Yeah, but it's the girl from Wednesday on Netflix. She's in the last one and she's in this one, and
I like her.
This is probably the most gruesome Scream movie. Like, Scream always feels a little campy.
Yeah, like a
almost comedy, but not
yeah.
quite. This one's fucking gruesome, dude.
That's what I like, because I'm the one that watches scary movies and I'll be laughing.
Yeah,
I'm the one laughing in the theater. Like, this is not scary, bro.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, there were plenty of times where I laughed, but there were other times I was like, damn.
That's what I like. You can catch me off guard like that. You got me.
Right. And I mean, they bring back Courtney Cox. Neve Campbell doesn't come back.
Scream?
Yeah, Scream 6. But it is. I mean, it's a like standard Scream movie, but it is by far probably the most like gruesome and most graphic Scream movie that has come out.
Wasn't nothing more graphic than what's her name's tits from Jawbreaker in that
Was that Neve
very
Campbell?
first Scream. No, it was the blonde one.
Oh, is that Drew Barrymore?
Nope.
I thought Drew Barrymore.
The one that got hung in the beginning, the one that was popping the popcorn.
Oh, okay.
I don't know her name.
She was in Jawbreaker. She had black hair in Jawbreaker. She was blonde in Scream.
I might have to look it up because I'm not thinking of it.
Cut through glass, them tits.
But Scream 6 was good too. I also saw fucking Cocaine Bear.
I have a problem with that movie.
You have a problem with Cocaine
I
Bear?
heard it was racist or something.
No, not that kind of problem. Not that kind of problem. I haven't heard that. But you telling me y'all staying on this island or whatever y'all at?
They're in a national park.
In a park, and there's a bear running loose. The first time I've heard that, I am packing up and we're gone. Where are y'all?
So there are three audiences. There are three like character plots throughout the movie. One is the drug dealers who had their cocaine dropped in the forest, and whoever
That was the spot? Like they were just like dropping the forest with fire?
No, his plane was going. Some dude's plane was going down, and he was trying to drop it so that they could retrieve it.
Right. Okay.
And he thought he was going to jump out of the plane and parachute. His chute doesn't open because he does something dumb right before he jumps out. So that's number one. The second audience is a mother looking for her child who like snuck out of school and went to the park for some reason. And the third is the park rangers.
So
now, there's kind of a fourth with like cops tracking the cocaine dealers.
So you got 3 points of views on this bear.
Right. Now, they all come down to the same point, and the shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong. It is very much a B movie.
Okay.
But the shit is fucking hilarious.
It's
like,
funny.
it is gruesome to the point that it's funny. Like, at one point, you got the kid up in a tree. You got one of the park rangers up in a tree, but he had already fallen in some spilled cocaine. The bear is climbing up to get the kid. The dude, like, shakes or something. The cocaine drifts off of him, goes into the bear's nose. The bear smells him. He literally just drops from where he's at on the tree. Fucking runs across, runs up the other tree, and is chewing this dude's leg off and snorting cocaine off the broken leg.
Could you imagine that, guys? A bear sniffing cocaine.
He's doing fucking lines off this dude's leg while he's chewing it off.
I keep my strap with me, so I give you a few bites to get a good shot.
Nobody had a gun?
If I get a good
The park ranger does, but she misses like 7 times.
you can get 2 good chomps on an ankle to give me a good shot. Wow.
And assuming nobody here minds spoilers, so spoiler
Right in the eye
alert.
socket.
Spoiler
Fuck that
alert
between
for the
eyes
end of the
shit.
cocaine bear. At the end of the movie, the bear gets shot like 7 times. Finally falls.
It gets back up.
The main bad guy
yeah.
goes to grab the cocaine off this tree limb. The cocaine falls and falls into the bear's mouth, face. And the bear wakes up and eats this
You thought
motherfucker.
I was done.
He said cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I thought it was finished.
Listen.
I didn't eat those motherfuckers. Yeah, I ate those motherfuckers.
Fuck your couch.
Man. You're strange, ain't strange.
Oh, man.
You know what, though? I will applaud the movie, though.
I mean, Elizabeth Banks directed it.
I'll
like
applaud
her.
the movie, racist or not, because at least...
I mean, I'd love to hear the racist argument.
I
on
don't
it,
know.
but-
I'd have to see it to know.
Other than the fact that Ice Cube's son's in it, I don't know.
I just...
What happened in the movie that made it racist? There was a what? The bear was white or black?
Well, I heard that. I heard. This is just me.
Superfan also saw Cocaine Bear with me, so
I was
Superfan
on
will
the
chime in here.
podcast and they said something about the
Rose
bear
McGowan, by the way, is who you were thinking of from the Scream
with the
movies.
tits,
Yeah.
the hard nips.
Yeah.
Yep.
The hard.
Superfan, and you are on the same page. Maybe you two should start seeing each other.
I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just saying. Maybe
She's a
the
good
Ca-
cook, man.
Maybe
She's
the
a good chef.
Casamigos. Well, if we get a compound, then it don't matter.
That's true. We'll
It's
get our
just
little
whatever's
polyfuel compound
whatever.
going. I ain't mad at you.
Nah, I think because this is I of course would never think to watch a Cocaine Bear movie.
Oh, you should watch it on stream
But
if it comes out.
I guess I
It's
think
worth
the
a watch.
podcast. I think it was Miss Pat's podcast, and she was saying that the bear was feeding the black bear babies cocaine or something like that. That I can't remember how she said it a certain way that made
No,
me
they
feel
the bear left one of the cocaine bags in the cave, and the babies got into it.
Oh,
Baby's
okay.
on coke too.
The baby bears are on coke
Yeah.
too.
This is a wild movie.
I don't know how she said. I have to hear it again to hear how she said it because the movie came out last month or 2
Yeah,
months
like a
ago?
month ago.
Yeah, this was a few episodes back that she was giving her little rundown on it, and I was
Superfan says that it is just ridiculous enough.
Right. It sounds ridiculous.
listen. I mean,
But I'm the
I'll
type that
check it out.
I'll watch
Yeah, I'll
something
check
like
it
that.
out. I'm not against the Cocaine Bear. It sounds
not
live.
You know what I mean? You know how many humans I know that's on cocaine?
Listen,
I go see a cocaine bear.
gorillas, tigers.
Right. Oh,
And then, of course, like a week later, there were like fucking stories about like a mole rat on cocaine or something else on cocaine. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna start off a new real world trend, a life imitating
sure-
art.
I'm sure there's been hella animals on cocaine. If I have to give a number one, sharks.
oh yeah.
Because they
the-
dropping it into
and
the
the
ocean to the boats. How many times did you miss?
And have it just fall in the ocean.
You know, I
Yeah.
think that'd be more entertaining than a bear, like a silverback or some kind of monkey, some kind of big
Listen,
big
because
monkey.
they could do bumps. They
Right.
can reach down in
They
there.
got it, yeah. He like, oh, I like this. He,
And right, you hear what I'm saying?
Nah, that shit would be racist as hell.
oh man, yeah.
That'd be more racist than the black bears.
Than the black bear.
Then make
They'd be
it
like, oh, so it gotta be a gorilla, it gotta be a monkey that be on drugs,
right.
huh?
Nah, fuck
If
that.
it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back.
It would be racist either way, because even if we wrote our script and they dropped it into the ocean, a shark wouldn't get it. It'd be a killer whale and a blackfish on cocaine.
Oh
Like the
man.
Black Mermaid, that was so dumb to me.
Ooh. So I was telling my mom, you just gave me a thought. I was telling my mom the Jesse Reyes CD. Anybody out there that likes R&B and shit, and little rock. She has a couple of rock songs on there. She has a CD called Yessie, Yessie. It's old. I think it came out in 22. But I told my mom, because we have similar taste in music, I was like, you need to listen to this CD. And she's like, okay, I'm going to listen to it. And I said, Jesse Reyes and Corinne Bailey Rae are the only two female singers that could sing me to my drowning death out to sea. And you know I don't like water.
You don't like the open sea.
I don't like water. But I would have dove in to hear who was singing that sweet, sweet tune. And I told my mom that, and she said, LOL. But you know, I think that them is real for real. And I do think that there's a reason that tale has been told of sirens that can sing pirates and shipmen down to their death. But me, I do my little due diligence. I heard, and this is only here, because nobody's ever survived to tell us. But they say that the sirens aren't how they're portrayed. Like, they're not beautiful, like women
they're
or mermaids.
Or something.
Right, they're monsters, but they sound angelic to lure you in.
Yep.
Right.
Every fantasy game ever.
And that makes me think that Jesse Reyes and Corinne Bailey Rae.
I knew that's where he's going.
Devil pussy.
On that note, I gotta use the bathroom.
Devil pussy, I'm telling you. It's at the end of the hall. Devil pussy.
I don't want none of that.
Man, but I tell you what, I'll listen to you for a while. I'll probably listen to her on the way home. And hopefully she don't sing me to my death.
Right. I don't know if that's
the road.
What you need
I
to
might
be
just drive
to.
right off the freeway.
Superfan chiming in with a sloth going from 0 to 60 in a tidy 90 minutes. Feature film. Sloths on cocaine.
Oh, she's funny.
Oh, she had another one.
She's funny.
She said, "Oh shit, I'll cook you fish on the podcast next week. This is the perfect segue to the cooking spinoff. Cliff will cook steak, you can cook some pork, and I'll make a fish for you to retry."
Oh no, we competing. We competing for the compound chef.
I'll just tell Chef Amanda to make the potatoes au gratin that took 6 hours.
It just better be a knockout, Holyfield. That's all I know.
Oh, goodness
and you better
gracious.
bring some Casamigos.
Don't tell her twice.
Listen. That's by far my favorite alcohol.
Casamigos?
That Blanco?
I don't know about it.
Oh my gosh, there's nothing better.
It doesn't do me too good.
It's nothing better. I got a bottle of El Mayor at the house I ain't cracked open yet. I need to know what that tequila like. I'm trying to find my... Casamigos is my favorite tequila, but it's $60. I'm trying to find a cheaper tequila. Like, give me a $30 tequila that I like the taste of. So when I'm not in the mood of buying Casa, I can...
I believe Snoop Dogg got a line out he just came out with.
Is it tequila, though?
He got a couple different things. I don't know if it's tequila.
I know he got that wine, that 19 Crimes.
I don't know if that's good.
Malcolm said it's good.
Is it?
And yeah,
I mean, Malcolm's a wine drinker.
Yeah, Malcolm is a good wine drinker. We went out to Indiana, and his boy owns a nice little bar, I should say.
Yeah.
It's a bar, but it has like some decent food too. Like they have like jerk chicken kebabs, stuffed mushrooms, like all appetizers, no like main
bar
dishes,
food.
right? But and it's reasonably priced too. Like even the jerk chicken kebabs, it was like 2 for $15.
Let's take it on the road. Let's go.
I didn't even eat the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, but I was also drinking too. So
Yeah, you don't eat much.
right. But he like, of course, it was his bar, so he was giving us samples like of the different wines and shit.
Yeah.
And Mop was picking some good wines, like to the point that I was like, I would drink that.
Yeah.
Like, on my own.
I mean,
But I'm just
wine's
not a big
bad
wine
thing.
guy.
Yeah, me either.
I've never been to wine.
I'll do it with like a dinner here and there. If that's what they're serving at dinner, meaning I'm at like somebody's house and like they
Right.
offer wine, like I'll take that.
Nah. My introduction to wine was a geek that had brought 10 bottles over to the house. To a whole bunch of hood niggas who didn't have wine openers, so he took butter knives and just
Stabbed it
poked
in.
the cork down into the bottle and drank it like that. So, I don't know. It might not have been the best wine that I was drinking. Or it may have been the best wine that I was drinking.
The fact that it was in bottles is a good sign instead of a bag.
Nah, it was all bottles. And it was like 10 of them. Different colors, flavors.
All that, yeah. Sutter's Home. You ever had that?
Sutter Home. Yeah, that's the cheap
Barefoot,
shit, though.
yeah.
But I will keep it a buck, though.
That's about it for me.
That female shit, the Moscato shit that they drank, that Sutter Home's Moscato ain't that bad. The light
and that
one,
was
though.
my thing with like Mountain Malbec.
I don't like sweet shit though, so
Yeah.
that's what kind of drives me off. But what's Malbec?
Malbec's red.
I don't know all the different.
It's a sweet red.
Different what? The different names like the.
Yeah, this is sweet. This is red. This is. You know.
Well, it's either red or white, or I guess pink, but there's different ones. You know what I mean? Like your Pinot Grigios and your, you know, like I don't. Which one? Which one do I?
What it tastes like?
You know what I mean? I'll be like, Malk, which one you getting? Give me that one. But I will say that it was a few wines that we tasted at that spot. I wish I knew the name of it so I could shout it out. I know it's in Evansville, Indiana. It's like downtown. I can't think of the name. I wish Malk was in the chat so he could say something. But it was, listen.
Was in the chat one?
He was, but you know that nigga ain't.
No, him.
Listen. But nah, it was good. It was a good experience all around. And his bar this is how high class his bar is. It's only open until 11 on. It might be.
Bar only open to 11.
It closes at 11. Yeah.
What kind of bar you got?
Right?
It's different. It is different. It's It's a different vibe. I'm not gonna lie. It was beautiful. It was a nice little ambiance. And he said that 90% of his customers are women. And out of the whole weekend that we were in Evansville, Indiana, those were probably the best calibers that were around at that bar. I will say that.
You and I still need to go to Rail House over there at East Market.
Yep.
That's a good joint, man.
Yep, we do. We do.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Back to old times.
You know what? I
2 hour
got
show.
one more.
What you got?
And we've been on there for 2 hours?
Yep.
Yeah, I got one more.
What you got?
We still have.
So you know how Neil deGrasse Tyson on that podcast that I sent you was talking about like how like the different conditions meant different things, like so like he was talking about like the epileptic seizures, how priests would come down because they would think that was Satan, and by the time they got there the seizure would be over, so it seemed like it was
the priest
working
showing up,
right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, like back in the day, like fasting. like, of course, they equated it to religious views, but I would think the more, not common, but the more natural reason for fasting would be detox, right?
I agree with you.
And they didn't have refrigerators. Most of them buried their food. So there's chances are that there were worms in that food
or some other
you
kind
ate.
of...
Right, and the only way to
infestation.
keep yourself healthy in that situation would be to fast to kill off the
Whatever was-
worms
yeah.
inside of you before you began eating again. And we equate it to religion, just like he said the Muslims,
Yeah.
like how Muslims would wash
Well, they fast
daily.
during religious high holidays and stuff.
And they
too.
wouldn't get sick. Everybody else would get sick, and all of a sudden they'd think they were the bad guys. But it's like, no, we're fasting. We're washing our hands and our feet daily.
Right.
We're making sure we're clean.
Well, and that was the belief with like pork and other clove-toothed animals was that
Right.
they were dirty because they wallowed in stuff.
Right.
And it's interesting that you bring up Ramadan because isn't that so? That just started.
Well, I didn't bring up Ramadan. I don't want to disrespect no Muslims here.
No,
I'm
no.
just saying the fasting portion.
fasting
of it.
portion.
But yeah,
Fasting
no,
part,
but I'm with
yeah.
you.
But that is a high holiday that I believe we're in right now.
Yeah.
And it's at the
The
time
start
of
of spring,
rebirth
right?
during the spring.
Yeah, start of spring.
So that makes even more sense to me in the sense that this is when animals are at their most fruitful and reproducing
Right.
and those kind of things. Like worms are coming back, mice are coming back.
Right.
Maybe
I think I saw a mouse in my house today. I couldn't really tell,
yeah.
but I think I did.
But
And-
that would make sense for that to be a time of
I
fasting.
hate the warm weather. They always be around in the warm weather.
But they say that this around the springtime, like the calendars, that's not the real calendar.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, we had
October.
we
Yeah.
had this
We talked
conversation
about
like
that
a
as
month
well.
ago. Yep.
October is 8. Ocho.
Octo. This is not the real calendar. This is a
Right.
man-made calendar because the New Year is when
The
spring,
spring
when
happens. Yeah.
rebirth
everything
happens.
gets
Yeah.
new life.
That's what was the Do Fools Agree New Year? Was it April Fools?
Yeah.
So April 1st we gotta do our
Our New Year's episode.
yeah. Our what
Which
do
is
you call
actually
them?
funny enough.
What do you call them?
Almost
Like
a
when
week
you
from
stop
today.
doing shit? What do you call them? Like, I'm gonna stop doing this year.
Oh, resolutions.
Yeah. So okay, I gotta come up with my resolutions.
So
by
our
April
resolutions
1st.
will be next week. It'll be
Yeah.
March 31st, but
That's perfect.
heading into April 1st.
That's perfect.
And they say that they set this whole 12 months or all this time to keep
Add
us
additional. Yep.
in line.
Well, and on top of that, too, like the original calendar was 10 month, probably a different number of days. There were 4 days.
Different
added
number of
every-
days per month.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, I would imagine 28 would be
yeah,
the general.
but then you would also have a shifting of the new year because spring would.
Yeah, you would have to add additional days to certain months.
Right.
I don't know which ones.
I don't know either. But, so that, and then to your point, keeping us in line of setting New Year's and new resolutions in the middle of the winter when people are less likely to adopt them
Right.
because they're more likely to adopt them as the new year begins. Which
Right,
is the
as
new year
everything's
from a
fruitful.
solar point.
There's
would
more
be
food. The
during
gardens are
spring.
blooming.
Yep. The time of rebirth.
Right. That's
That's me saying, well, not me, but that's the fat nigga in y'all's group saying, I'm not going to eat as many crops as I did last year. Look at all these crops blooming. I'm going to keep my fucking self under wraps. And everybody at him on October 31st, like, nigga, you ain't do shit all year. We told y'all, motherfucker, you said you was going to stop eating.
right.
And now we obese. And everybody blaming obesity on emotional struggles.
Right.
You said you was gonna stop eating. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
That was a good one to end on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was.
JR, what you got? Anything to take us out?
Hey, keep watching, support, subscribe.
Oh, look
That's
at
right.
him.
Listen,
Appreciate it.
he's podcast trained.
Smack the like button.
Right, smack
This
that
is my
motherfucker.
favorite first-time guest we've ever had on the
Listen,
show.
smack that like button.
Keep on coming back.
Smack that
Hey,
bitch.
tell a friend to tell a friend
Tell
to tell a
an
friend
enemy.
to tell an enemy.
Tell
and
him
tell
to
that
troll.
enemy to go whoop another enemy's ass and tell him to bring his ass on over to.
Listen. So we can troll him.
He control us, because views are views.
Yeah, we up for being trolled.
Hey, every view is a good view.
I try to troll
doubt.
myself every week. Love everybody.
Now, I will say, I will add this. Our shorts are doing very well.
I know, that's
So
why.
we got to get together.
I was telling you about that,
That's
cuz.
another reason
We
why I
gotta
wanted
get the
to come
short
over
and go.
today, because I need you to show me some things.
I was telling you about that. The shorts.
The shorts generate the views, which hopefully translate into subscriptions.
Yep.
'Cause when they see a short,
We're gonna talk about it more.
you see a short, you be like, dang. You see
Yeah,
a little
nah.
segment that you like, you be like, dang, I want to see what else they was talking about, and then they gonna come right over.
Absolutely. So
'Cause
with
I'm-
all of that, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, all that shit. Tell
Smack
friends,
that
tell
like
friends,
button.
Tell an enemy, tell
Tell
them
him
to
to troll
troll.
this bitch, bro.
Troll it.
And we out. Peace out, fools.
Oh look.
What's good, Amanda?